Hello, this next key we're going to get into is the key of G. So let's go ahead and, if you haven't tuned up your guitar, it's probably a good idea to do that. You might want to check with our tuning video, which just provides you with the tones. We also have MP3s that are available for download, where you can download the tones. Even better yet, in our bonus section, we have a tuner that's a software tuner that you can just open up on your screen and just go from there and tune. Works just like a regular tuner, uses a microphone in your computer, and it works really well. So give it a shot, try it out, tell us what you think. We always want to know your opinion. It's important to us. Anyway, let's get started with the key of G. So the key of G consists of the same thing that C does. There's 2 whole steps and a half step, and then 3 whole steps and a half step, and then you're back to where you started. And when I say whole step and half step, if you don't know what I'm talking about, please review our music theory section, and that goes into great detail on what everything means, the symbols and all that stuff. But if you just want to just jump in, you can stay with me and we'll go ahead and play these chords. But first let's talk about the key of G, and let's get its notes out there. So G is number 1. If we go a whole step to A, then we go a whole step to B, and a half step to C, a whole step to D, a whole step to E, and then another whole step to F sharp. And as you can see, the last one there forced us up onto the black keys. If you don't already, be sure to open up a PDF diagram of the keyboard next to these videos, as you can see how music relates to the guitar and how the guitar relates to piano and piano to guitar and all that stuff. So really good idea. So let's first of all, let's review the first 3 chords that we're going to do. The only 3 in this exercise. The first chord is G. Okay, per your diagram. If you haven't got a diagram for this lesson, please go to our PDF download section and download it immediately. And then there's D7, which uses your index and your other fingers here. And then there's C. C is a tough one. If you can't do it, usually between these 2 fingers is when it gets a little dicey, because they can't stretch out. People just can't do that. So check out our exercises section. We got strengthening exercises as well as tapping exercises, all kinds of stuff to help you get stronger and better. So we've got G, one more time, D7, and C. Those are 3 chords. And make sure you're pressing the string firmly to the fretboard. You want to come up on the tips of your fingers. The more it hurts, the better you're going to get. That's kind of a joke, but it's not super funny. But you got to have a sense of humor if you're playing. So try to lighten up if you're not. Are you pressing just behind, but if you're not touching the fret? You want to ask yourself, you want to be right up against the edge of the next one. So when I say right up against, I'm talking about right almost to the line. But you know what? I found in most cases it really doesn't matter. So that's kind of a formal approach. Doesn't have to be right up against the line. Sometimes you can't line them up straight against the line, or else you can't fit your fingers in there. So sort of a slanted approach for the chords that have 3 in a row. Like see how slanted diagonally. You're going to have to do that anyway to be able to stack your fingers in there like that. And if your fingers are too big, you got fat fingers. Some people have bigger hands, and if you do have tree trunk fingers, then sometimes just doing an A like this, or the ones that go across, it's actually a great bonus if you have big fingers like that, because you can do all kinds of cool stuff that the rest of us have to separate and do. When it comes to details, it gets a little tricky for you guys, but for the most part, you're good. So let's go ahead and go over the progression we're doing here. It looks like we're going to do G, then C, then G, then D7. We're going to do all those 4 times, and then we're going to do G and C 4 times again each. Then we're going to do G twice, D7 twice, and then we're going to end on G. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go through this twice, and I'm going to play at sort of mediocre speed. There are some files for download over here to the right of this video in the description of this video. They're at different beats per minute, and they're audio files, just MP3s. You can download them and play against them or play with them, and that way you feel like you're kind of playing with somebody instead of hacking it all by yourself. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the progression in the key of G. We use G, D7, and C. Now let's look at some pathways between the chords. I did this before we started in the last two, video 1 and video 2, but in this video I wanted to wait until afterwards to see how, if you had developed any coordination by watching the preceding 2 videos. And if you had, great. If you haven't, go back and watch them. But you want to do this exercise every time you play. Okay, so just start on G. Okay, and then you want the first chord, right? The chord that the key is in, and then you want to look at jump points. You want to look at your fulcrums, the places you can rotate on. And when I say rotate, I mean if this note back here is in the next chord, then you want to keep it there. You know what I mean? So here's G. D7's the next chord. Now remember, your index finger is your leading finger on your hand. So the first thing you want to do is go to the first fret right there, okay, and then put the rest of your fingers down. Okay, and then back to G, back to D7, and just do it a couple times without playing anything. Look at where your fingers are going. Do this. Remember, do the silent change like this a few times. Look at where your fingers are going. Try and follow my lead. Okay? And then start on G and go to C. So this is going to go in the same place as we just did D7, right? It was back here, went like this. Well, for D7, all we got to do is swing our middle and our ring finger around, and there's C. So D7, C, D7, C. So let's do this back and forth for a little bit, keeping this here as our fulcrum, our rotating point. Very good. Just do this with me. Okay, now let's try and play it. D7 and C. And do that for a while and go back and try and grab the progression and try it again. If you do that enough, you'll notice that you're going to make progress. You've been playing G for a little while. If you watch the 2 videos preceding this one, G's already in your vocabulary, so you shouldn't have too much trouble nailing this. Anyway, this is Stu Johnson with Second Floor Studios. We've just completed the key of G. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to download the 4 different MP3 files at 4 different speeds, so you can practice it really, really slow and then speed up. And if you have any questions, let us know. Just contact us. In your user menu, there's a menu item called Tell Us, and that's basically, where you would tell us what we need to do to make things better for you. We're here for you. Thanks a lot. Take care, and we'll see you at lessons.